The room above the library. If you ever visit the small town of Blackwood, you will notice something strange about the old library near the town square. Most people walk past it without paying attention. Some people enter to borrow books and leave a few minutes later. But the older residents of Blackwood never stay there for long. They never go upstairs, and they never talk about room 207. Tom Harris did not know any of this when he arrived in Blackwood. At 22 years old, Tom wanted a quiet life. He had spent most of his years in a noisy city filled with traffic, crowds, and endless distractions. When he received an opportunity to continue his studies from home, he decided to move somewhere peaceful. Blackwood seemed perfect. It was a small town surrounded by forests and hills, and the rent was cheap. The people were friendly, and life moved slowly. For the first few weeks, Tom enjoyed his new home. He spent his mornings studying and his afternoons exploring the town. Every street looked like something from an old photograph. Small shops stood beside narrow roads, and colorful flowers filled many of the front gardens. Nothing exciting ever seemed to happen there. Then one rainy afternoon, Tom visited the town library. The library stood at the end of a quiet street beneath several enormous oak trees. Rain tapped softly against the windows as Tom pushed open the heavy wooden door. The smell of old paper immediately filled the air. Rows of books stretched across the room, and warm yellow lamps glowed softly above the reading tables. Tom liked the place instantly. It felt peaceful. The library was almost empty. A few people sat quietly reading, and an elderly librarian worked behind a wooden desk near the entrance. She had gray hair, round glasses, and a gentle smile. "Welcome," she said. "Thank you," Tom replied. For the next several hours, he read in complete silence. Outside, the rain became heavier, but inside the library, everything remained calm and warm. It was exactly the kind of place he had hoped to find when he moved to Blackwood. As evening approached, Tom closed his book, prepared to leave. That was when he noticed the staircase. He was surprised. He had not seen it earlier. The staircase stood at the far end of the library, hidden between two large bookshelves. Above it hung a small wooden sign, Room 207. Authorized staff only. Tom stared at the sign for a moment. It seemed strange. Why would a library need a private room upstairs? For some reason, he could not stop looking at it. A cold feeling passed through him. Then a voice spoke beside him. "You should go home now." Tom jumped slightly. The librarian was standing only a few feet away. Her smile had disappeared. She looked directly at the staircase before turning back to him. "We close soon," she said quietly. Tom nodded. Of course. As he walked home through the rain that night, he found himself thinking about room 207 again and again. It made no sense. It was only a room, yet something about it felt wrong. He could not explain why. The next day, he returned to the library. He told himself he was there to read, but deep down he knew the truth. He wanted to see what was inside room 207.